Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel, or video diary for short. So one thing we're actually going to talk about today is incels and how I got out of that rabbit hole. It was a long one for real. I'm not going to make this video to judge you or to preach you. I'm just here to tell you that the view out of that rabbit hole is a lot brighter. And I'm speaking like this because I've been there and I know what it's like to feel like no matter how hard you try, nothing works. You can't catch a break. I mean, when you do look at the world and the way it's heading, you do start to feel a genuine societal dread. And that was me for a lot of my life. Maybe you're sitting down right now, pissed off at the fact of how society's broken and how women are behaving, and that you need to be a dominant, emotionally distant alpha male in order to succeed in life. Anything apart from your authentic self that still lies within you in order to be better in life. I know what it's like to be that and having to live with that sort of like ideology and how toxic that is. And it's not a good place to be. I'll tell you my story. There was a time in my life where I was so jealous of people in relationships. It hurt. Every time I saw a couple walking hand in hand or laughing together, it was like a slap in the face. I'd think, why not me? What do they have that I don't? And the worst part, I let that jealousy fester. I started watching all of these alpha male videos, guys who seem to have it all figured out. They'd say things like, women only want guys with money, or you have to dominate and show no emotion. I ate it all up, of course, because it gave me someone to blame. It wasn't my fault that I was struggling. It was women. It was society. Anyone but me. But here's the thing. The more I consumed that content, the angrier I became. I started seeing people not as individuals, but as stereotypes. Women became the enemy in my mind. Relationships felt like some game I could never win. And the worst of all, I lost sight of myself. That's what the incel rabbit hole does. It doesn't just mess with your view of the world, it messes with your soul. It feeds your bitterness and makes you believe that you're powerless, that the world's out to get you. But that is a lie. And you know what? Here is the moment that pretty much changed everything for me. One day, I decided to try out the cringiest pickup lines you would have ever imagined ever on an actual girl that I met at a park. I thought, why not try them out in the real world with real women? And the worst part was when I actually started doing it and saying these cringy ass pickup lines, people were starting to actually get creeped out by what I was saying, considering this was the first time I ever met them and they don't know me. So this was kind of freaking them out a little bit. And the more I tried to conversate with them of what that was and what I was trying to do, they felt even more creeped out. It's like, whoever says stuff like this to anyone, I would have preferred if you just said hi, or how are you, or oh, I like what you're wearing today, where's that from? That sort of thing. You know, typical, calm, normal, neutral conversations. But nah, you're just going straight in with the most raunchy pickup lines you could ever think of. Mostly written by people whose only goal is to just have sex with them and not actually have meaningful relationships with them. That is pretty much their only goal for pickup artists. Another thing I'll probably talk about in another video. Thanks for talking about that. But every time I try to say one of these pickup lines, I can almost feel my soul literally weltering into smithereens. Like my authentic self, I can literally feel it dying the moment I said it, because it's like, this isn't how I actually am in real life. Like, I'm normally a lot more tender, calm, natural, and genuinely just approachable to be around and friendly. Like, I'm never this sort of like just stocky built alpha male giga chad, you know, like who's constantly trying to one up himself when it comes to having affairs and all of that. I'm not that type of person. Plus, I'm Catholic, you know, that we're supposed to be, you know, talking to people like, you know, they're made in the image and likeness of God. Basically put, we're meant to just treat people for the human beings that they are, you know? Like, they're not just people that you could just instantly just use for your own pleasure, you know? They're just people to be cared and loved for. That's it. And I stopped using them ever since because I knew that I was never the type of person that would actually succeed from using them. But when I actually started cold approaching normally, like a normal person, I actually had a lot more success because I was just treating them like human beings that they are and just trying to have a conversation with them and standing up for myself, which is a lot easier said than done, trust me. But when you actually start getting the reps in, you begin to realize that actually women aren't what these other males are telling you to be. They're not like that. They're just people with the same thoughts, opinions, goals, dreams, hobbies, interests, quirks as you do. And if you actually do what you're supposed to do and stand up for yourself as you should be, have boundaries, you'll flourish. That's really all it is. And that's another point about this incel rabbit hole as well. They always like to fuel their hatred away from themselves. Anything that absolves them of any responsibility to actually make meaningful changes in your lives. When in reality, the problem isn't society itself, it's the story that you're telling yourselves that you're the victim and everyone else is to blame. Which, I can't lie, that is a good point. I mean, with the complete demonization of positive masculine traits in the West, and also the complete demonization of like fatherhood in our culture, let me tell you, my 20s have only begun and I have a lot to learn. And the fact that I'm even making this video just shows me I'm not ready for one. I'm not ready for a relationship. But I can live with that because I am actually trying to make myself a better person for me. And then eventually someone will come along and see my worth and actually appreciate it as it should be. But a lot of people are going to be like in the comment section, you're being too hard. So, you never know what it's like being an introvert like me. You'll never know how hard it is being me. And yeah, you're absolutely right. I don't. But the thing is, staying stuck in that negativity pool that you've made for yourself isn't going to help you. It's actually going to make it a lot worse, and it will only continue to validate your own self-pity even more. And that's not healthy either. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's actually figure out how we're gonna break out of that cycle. Number one, cut out the toxic content, okay? I know you feel like these alpha male videos are actually giving you actual advice, which I can't lie, most of them are, but the truth is, they're only validating your own self-pity and resentment even more. Get rid of all these channels and replace that with content that actually inspires you, motivates you, and educates you positively and doesn't stoke division. Number two, work on yourself. As of today, try doing 10 push-ups today. Try going to a gym for the first time this week. Go to one social event this week and actually ask one question about the person's recreation, family, hobbies, goals. Learn one skill that you actually want to learn. And last but not least, try going one day without eating a pack of crisps. It will teach you delayed gratification, I suppose. Go for a walk. Read one chapter of a book this week. And keep repeating that every day, no matter how you feel. Keep doing it every day. Even if it gets tough, keep doing it. The progress is very slow. You're going to feel like every day is repetitive, but you're still making progress either way. You just don't know it yet, and that's what matters. And lastly, if you actually have the time, actually try to serve others. Whether that's volunteering, working in a local church or a local organization or charity, anything. Anything that can help remind you that the world's a lot bigger than your problems. Because let me tell you, it is. And you actually get to learn one thing about happiness. It's actually found in serving others, not just yourself. And last but not least, be patient. Because a lot of you guys say you want a girlfriend, you want this and that and the other. But you have to realize that there's a lot of responsibilities that come with that. Which I have to argue, you and I, we can't deal with that at the moment. And the fact that we're even in this massive period of isolation, it's like life is trying to tell us that we need to actually develop ourselves first before thinking about relationships in the first place, in a romantic sense. But if you don't take one thing away from this video, let it be this. If you actually get to implement these steps, and I've got to implement them as well, you'll realize one simple fact. You are more than worthy of actually being loved, of being respected and admired by your peers. Even if you're not in a relationship, you're worth more than your frustration. Stop wallowing, stop making excuses, and instead start making change. So what's it going to be? Are you going to sit down and let the bitterness completely eat you up inside? Or are you going to stand up for yourself, dust yourself off, and work towards the life that I know you want to live? The choice is yours. And in that case, that is me done for the video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.